I'm shaking the bushes, guys. Can you see me? Shake, shake, shake. Shaking those bushes, like you told me. Shaking the bushes. Yes, sir. Shaking the bushes. See it shaking? It's shaking now, Chris. Watch it, guys. It's shaking. Shake, shake, shake. Shaking, Mike. Watch the bush shaking. Yes, sirree. Shaking the bushes and talking about Parole Violators tonight on B-Movie Mania!
Welcome to the crossroads of camp, the bastion of the bizarre, the place where low budgets meet high praise. Yes, it's B-Movie Mania. And now, B-Movie Maniacs, here are your hosts, the cream of the crap, the connoisseurs of cult, your cinematic creepy uncles, Paul Brooks, Mike Hayes, Jason Huls, and crazy Chris Hutson.
Welcome, everybody, to B-Movie Mania. I'm your host for the evening, Jason Huls. One of the B-Movie Maniacs couldn't make parole tonight. Paul Brooks is not here with us, but we still have crazy Chris Hutson.
Psh. I'm doing my job, damn it. I'm doing my job. Jay, how dare you tell me how to do my job? I'm doing my job, damn you.
And we have Michael Hayes. Mike? Come on, Mike, come on, Mike. It's your turn.
Jay, you're begging. Tough guy like you? What is this?
Oh, this movie.
This movie, Parole Violators, has so many quotes. You're probably going to hear a lot of clips from the movie because there are so many to pick from.
It's all kill lines. It's like someone just watched every Schwarzenegger movie and went, that's all we're going to use for dialogue.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Jay.
The movie was released in 1994.
Hey, Jay.
Yes. Yes, Chris.
Before you get into this, I'm sorry I cussed you. I'm sorry I cussed.
Oh, Chris, you had that written down as a backup thing to say in case somebody else said it first.
Pretty much,
didn't you?
I usually have like 5 greetings on here. Yeah.
That's okay. I have 3 intros written, and I had to go with the shaking the bushes thing.
Well, I'm still sorry I cussed you.
Well, probably won't be the last time. Parole Violators. It was a film released in 1994, directed by Patrick Donahue, and stars his son, Sean Donahue. And guys, I tried to do some research on this. It's not easy.
There's not a lot out there. You have to read between the lines.
Chris, when you messaged me about this, I think you rightly pointed out that you have more IMDb credits than most of the people in this cast.
Yeah. I do.
Yeah. I love to know the story about how this thing came together.
Well, I'm pretty sure there were actual skinheads involved.
Wow.
Do you think they were real skinheads?
Well, Goon had a fucking swastika tattoo on one arm and an SS tattoo on the other.
Oh, and those looked like legitimate tattoos to you?
They look like legitimate tattoos to me, Mike.
Oh,
yes, they did.
Well, I'm looking through Wikipedia here. Type. It does say that the makeup department was the child in the movie, so she just probably used a Sharpie.
Hey, I'm just saying.
We used a Sharpie.
I'm just saying, what I see on screen, I generally take to be real life. I'm not very discerning.
Oh.
Well, it is.
Well, this should be a very interesting conversation.
I mean, none of these gang members do have any other credits, so you may be right.
Yeah, it could be.
Also, I believe a man can fall off a huge cliff and survive.
Over and over
and like more than one.
Okay. Does anybody have the IMDb synopsis is brief. Anybody have it pulled up?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, why don't you hit us with that so people know what we're talking about?
Yeah, okay. TV show host Miles Long trades his camera for a 9mm handgun when his girlfriend's daughter is kidnapped by a parolee that he put behind bars while on the police force.
Yeah, that's about it.
Succinct. But there's so much more. And let's hit the tip of the iceberg with some quick takes.
Quick takes!
Chris, what did you think of Parole Violators?
Well, Jay, the movie was cold, but everything else was hot.
Yes.
That was that was wrong. You actually put emphasis on the right words and said it with enthusiasm.
Oh shit! Let me try that. Let me try that again. The movie was cold, but everything else was hot.
Nope, still too much
closer.
inflection.
Still too much.
Too much performance.
She's like,
I'm sorry.
The line, we'll get into this, but the line you are trying to quote is he goes, you know
terribly
what happened,
mangled it.
You know what happened last time I made dinner? And she just says, the food was cold, but everything else was hot. And that was too much inflection. I accidentally did like everything else. Like she just, but everything else was
it really
hot.
was. Wait, can I try it now?
Please.
Since we're all trying it. All right. Okay, I have to utterly clear my mind.
Just blank it out, Jay.
Lose all emotion, Jay.
All right. Here goes. The food was cold, but everything else was hot.
You did the else thing too. I don't think she does the else.
I did it. I think you're right.
Well,
here's the clip.
You know what happened last time I cooked?
Yeah, the food was cold, but everything else was hot.
Listener, you vote. Tweet at us or whatever. Vote on who you think won, and the winner gets a big old spanking or something.
Woohoo!
An emotionless spanking.
Mike, what's your quick take?
I don't have anything.
Emotionless #emotionless spanking.
Much like we all had a bunch of jokes for the intro written out, I have nothing for the quick take because this movie is tiring in the best way possible. It is just nonstop, and I'm happy that I watched it. That's my quick take. Jay, how do you feel?
Fantastic.
It's fucking exhausting.
I'm gonna make a bold statement here, boys. And I said a similar statement about Ben and Arthur. Okay, I feel like this might be the Room of action movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I could. Yeah.
Agree with me? Disagree? Yeah. We'll get into it, but that's where I stand right now.
I get it.
Yeah.
And before we get into the plot, we haven't done this in quite some time, but this movie just demands that we list some drinking rules.
Drinking rules.
I have one written out, so it's perfect.
Okay, Mike, why don't you hit us with yours?
Well, I just have one, and I think this one will send you to the hospital. But drink every time someone smashes through a window.
That was my drinking rule. I wrote that same fucking thing.
If Hologram Man is the movie with the most explosions in it, this is the movie with the most people going through windows. It is every scene, every window you see is a Chekhov's window, and it will be broken.
Yes, even a skylight in a car.
Yes,
yeah, in a fucking van, a creep van skylight, fucking smashed out. Windshields.
Sometimes people are thrown through these windows. Sometimes they're jumping through it on their own accord. It just, every window is broken.
It was glorious.
Oh, God. And it starts pretty early on, right?
Oh, first scene.
Yeah.
First scene.
Oh, I didn't quite realize it when I saw that first window broken, that it's just the first of so many.
It's like trying to make window smashing a trope all by itself.
Yes. Jay, did you have any others?
I actually have 4 more. Yes, I have 4 more drinking rules. Tell me what you guys think of these. Every time Miles Long tries a frontal assault when stealth would work better.
Sure.
Which is almost every other scene of the film.
That rule will also kill you.
Every time the heroes should have easily died but didn't.
Yeah.
Yep. Also dead.
Anytime there's I'll put this in air quotes, awesome one-liner. And my last one, which we've already kind of joked about, is whenever someone falls from a high place.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to kill yourself, follow these 5 drinking rules. It'll take care of it.
You'll be done.
So don't really do them, listeners, because we don't want to lose you. Oh, I'm looking at my notes right now, and I see where I've highlighted in bold several quotes, and I can't wait to get to them. So let's just get into the plot here.
Okay.
Let's dive in. Chris, where are we starting here? What's happening?
Well, we start with Miles Long watching, I I don't know, homeless guy or something that we find out is a parolee.
And the director's father.
Oh,
actually.
right.
Or not the director's father. I'm sorry. That is the director cameo.
Yeah.
The star's father. That is Patrick Donahue.
Right.
The bum.
So the director of the movie is trying to gather the budget for this movie by robbing a convenience store. This part of the movie, the first 5 minutes, is actually a documentary on the funding, on getting the funding for this movie.
I'm going to take notes on that.
So we realize that Miles is actually, he's got a video camera, and as soon as he sees this guy start sticking up the convenience store, it's like Candid Camera, except, pow, you're on Parole Violators, and then he's taped to a tree.
Yes.
Then he's duct taped to a tree with like Parole Violator like on his chest, and the tape apparently of the crime of the parole breaking. Which is weird because Parole Violators is also an actual TV show. So how did he make a copy of the tape that quickly?
Well, you know what? That's an excellent point I did not consider, but also because the cops don't seem to know who the quote video cop is.
Yeah.
Yet he's on a legitimate television show with his own footage.
Control S1. Video cop struck again.
And he's pretending some vigilante is sending them in, but it's not him. He just has a connection that someone's sending these tapes in, but he's the host of a TV. It's god damn it.
And I don't want to go past this first scene without talking about the exquisite quote from the bum director, Patrick Donahue, when he's screaming as he's being taped up to the pole.
Well, Clint said he was going to get us all jobs, man. He said he was going to get us all jobs.
Clinton said he was going to get us all jobs, man.
Well, also the really cool thing about this whole Parole Violators like TV show concept is that it has nothing to do with anything. It's just like fucking background bullshit. It doesn't.
They could have easily gotten rid of that whole like fucking awful like plot point, and he could have just been anything else. Like, he didn't have to have this job. He could have been an ex-cop and just done his thing, but instead he's a piece of shit who doesn't think reform can change for anyone, and that anyone who went to prison deserves to stay there for life.
Afterwards, we go to prison and we see a mysterious figure being released from prison. And I just love the dramatic music that swells as this person like turns around toward the camera the first time. And we're introduced to Chino, the villain of the movie.
Hey Jay, did you notice the dressing scene that was pulled right out of Late Afternoon of the Living Dead? We even got the zipper shot. It was great.
The slow, sensual gangster dressing scene. Wonderful. And okay, so here Chino leaves the jail prison, and the first thing he wants to do, he wants to go with his buddy Twos to get some beer. He wants to go get a beer. Mm-hmm. And so, okay, here's probably like the most distasteful part of the movie is that they make sure right here that you know that Chino is a big old pedophile. Okay, so typically, when stuff like that is in movies, I just find it a big turnoff.
Mm-hmm. Unlike Chino.
Unlike Chino. In this case, they only ever talk about it a couple times in dialogue, and there's never any intense creepiness.
No.
Like, it's 5% kind of bleh, and then just like 95% let's just blow by it, and we just did that to make sure people hate him.
It's like the filmmakers
early on.
The filmmakers themselves were uncomfortable with this idea.
Could be. I mean, you should be.
I think personally what it was that the filmmakers put no thought into the film in any capacity.
Well,
and then,
I'm being generous, Mike. I'm being very generous.
Yes, you are. Because I guarantee they're like, what's the worst crime? It's this thing. And then they do it. Yep. Which also is why they didn't need our dickbag hero to be a guy who goes after parolees. He could have just been he could have been a vigilante, and then we come up on this guy who's a pedophile. Cool, we're all on board of killing and beating up the pedophile. Fine. But like we don't need to he harasses him coming out, and he claims he's changed and all that stuff. And there's no evidence that he's gonna be a piece of shit. There's a lot of stuff in the movie that didn't need to be there. It's just there because it was in someone's brain for half a second and they put it there. And like, that's it.
Well, that leads me to what I think is this movie's biggest crime, is that our hero, Miles Long, for whatever reason, makes the pedophile villain seem likable.
Okay. You know, there is a specific part where I kind of want to get into that, like why Miles is such a jerk. But let's just go a little bit further, and then we'll get back into what, because yes, Miles, there are certain scenes where he comes across very unlikable.
Oh, God.
You might say the whole movie, I guess. I mean, you're rooting for him because the alternative is a sex offender, but there's a lot to be desired with Miles' character. But yeah, so okay. So one of the next scenes after he harasses Chino in twos, I'm straight up harasses him.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just sticks a camera in his face, and the gangsters are like, dude, we could have you arrested. Like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and shortly thereafter is, would you call it a great scene? I don't know if you call it a great scene, but it's a baffling scene.
The garage scene?
The garage scene.
Oh,
yes, Mike,
God, yes.
What's happening with this garage scene? Because this was one of the things I first saw about this movie, and I'm like, oh God, I gotta pick this. Like, what is happening here?
Well, Miles marches in some car garage, and there's mechanics are working on stuff, and for some reason there's this policewoman there.
No, it's the police garage. It's the police garage.
It's the police garage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so they're working there, and then we get a whole scene of dialogue where they just yell at each other, like without emotion. They're just,
how did Chino get out of prison?
What?
How did Chino get out of prison?
Out the front door like everybody else. What's your point, Miles?
just no emotion.
No. My question the whole time I'm watching this is like, there's no inherent reason why this scene has to be in a car garage. Why is this woman, her name, she's a cop, her name is Tracy. Why is Tracy in this garage to begin with? And why is this scene taking place in a garage where they're forced to yell their dialogue?
You want me to cook you dinner? You know what happened last time I cooked.
Yeah, the food was cold, but everything else was hot.
But I also love it.
And Miles fucking harasses the dude trying to change the tires on the cop's police car. God damn it, Miles.
Yeah, Miles is a real dick. Like, he just is.
Tone it down a bit.
Yeah, but I love this scene. I can't help it. Like,
It's a great scene.
It's ridiculous. So there's several scenes in the movie where Tracy and Miles deliver their words of dialogue like bullets from a gun. They just come out fast and hard. And this is one of them. And somewhere in the end of the scene, it changes from Miles being angry about Chino being out of prison to wanting to then go on a date with her, which has happened in the past.
You know what just hit me? Like, their dialogue delivery is straight. This has been bugging me all day, but it's straight out of fucking Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, where it's totally played for laughs. And this, not so much. But we laugh anyway.
No.
It's great.
No. So they make a date, right?
Yeah, they make a date.
6:30.
And this is the scene that we were referring to earlier where they're in the garage and it jumps to Miles's house where he's cooking dinner and he's just making pasta. So it shouldn't be a big deal, but it is.
Is it? I was going to ask Chris, because Chris, you're sort of the resident B-movie mania chef. What the hell was he making?
Garbage. That's what he was making. I mean,
it looked like slop.
He overcooked the pasta. He cooked jarred sauce in the microwave, and then he mixed it all together in a colander on his fucking countertop, making a huge mess, making it look like he just got into a fight with the pizza.
It'll be great. You'll love it. Trust me. If there's any doubt, I'll go first.
He says something about his special secret sauce. And then,
God.
Hold on a second. Okay, I gotta. I'm smiling too much, so I don't want the emotion to come out. Hold on. Okay, ready? I remember your last secret sauce. They immediate. That's it. I started reading my notes.
What's the surprise? Smells good.
It's pasta with my secret tomato sauce.
They immediately do the sex, but we don't get to see it. And my theory is because it's the dad was the director.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, do we really want to see? No, we don't.
Well, we do get to see Lucy, Tracy. I thought her name was Lucy, but is her name Tracy? I don't remember. Tracy. We do see her getting a little hot and heavy towards Goon later on. I mean, it's pretty tame. This is a PG movie, but
I think it's fair to say the arc of this movie, just if you're looking at the insanity chart, just keeps going up from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. There's no up, and this is not a roller coaster.
No, it just goes up. At no point does our quote unquote hero change in any way. All that even really happens is that he convinces this woman to lose her morals and become a vigilante with him too.
Yeah, I think he's supposed to be the kind of... Okay, let's just talk about it. Fine. Yeah, I had this spot picked out, but screw it. Yeah, I think he's supposed to be the guy that you admire, right? Like, he's supposed to be this guy that you root for that is taking the law into his own hands and all that. But it doesn't come across that way because he picks on people that we see in the movie as innocent.
Yeah, he assumes everyone's guilty, and all we know is he used to be a cop, and he put Chino away before, and he's got this mindset that Chino's never going to change. But as a viewer, we don't experience that. We don't know. All we know, he's not a cop anymore. For all we know is that he did something shitty the first time with Chino.
Right.
You're right. He's supposed to be someone we look up to, but he is complete garbage.
The movie's from the mid-90s, which, from my memory of the mid-90s, is like the anti-hero was king. You know, you had a bunch of comic books like Spawn and The Punisher were really big, and I can't think of anything. And you had a lot of like Quentin Tarantino was just getting his shit down. You know, Reservoir Dogs, all anti-heroes for the most part.
In other films of this
big.
era.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of B movies of this era have the vigilante who's too rough to be on the police force, you know?
Yeah, Naked Gun.
Nemesis.
Yeah, I like that the Naked Gun got put in next to Nemesis.
Oh, I didn't catch it.
So taken on pure 90s terms, Miles, still not very likable.
Yeah, there's some problems with Miles, but the good thing is that he puts the pedal to the metal, so you don't really have time to think about his moral choices very much.
I just keep going, this guy's a stunt person, but he can't throw a punch at all.
But he can sure take one.
He has a lot of credits, though. He does.
The stunts in this movie are atrocious, especially for someone who's supposed to be a stunt person.
He falls off of 2 cliffs in a giant building.
Every shot looks like it's supposed to be the practice shot, because they're just coming at him, just counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Oh yeah. There's a shot earlier when because immediately, of course, when Miles is bugging Twos and Chino outside that bar, Twos like goes up to him.
Yeah.
And this shot of Miles, it's supposed to be some kind of like Aikido move where he like flips him or something. And it's just Twos flipping over on his own onto the ground.
You watch him just slowly, quote unquote, fall to the ground.
Well, right.
And then he just kind of like rolls his eyes and stands back up like, let's do it again.
Well, mind you, Twos is probably pushing 6 feet, and Miles has the stature of kind of a semi-muscular Martin Short.
I like that. We have Miles is playing horseshoes, just so happens to be playing a game of horseshoes in the same park.
Wait, is that a Midwest Killers
It
reference?
is. Did you catch it? You did.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Okay. I missed it. Damn it.
A game of horseshoes.
Oh. Nope. Still don't get it.
That didn't do anything.
Still didn't do anything.
It's okay. He's playing a game of horseshoes at the same park where Chino and Twos decide they're going to get back to their nasty ways of kidnapping kids. So I'm going to just.
I have a question about
here.
I have a question about the scene. So, was it just coincidence that they kidnapped a little girl at the same park Miles was playing a game of horseshoes? Or were they trying to, like, set him up for some sort of, like, beating?
That's way too deep.
I have no idea, because there's
I
some
like what you're thinking.
Well, there's some dialogue that could go either way.
Really?
Yeah, there's like, so I thought there was. Maybe I made it up, and
I mean, they certainly used an opportunity to beat him.
I think maybe my brain tried to make sense of this whole scene. Like, why did this happen?
Yeah.
And I just made some shit up. I'm filling in the blanks.
It's like when you see an image and something not there, but your brain kind of tries to fill the blank and put it there. It's like that. Your brain's trying to actually process it, but it can't actually do it.
That explains why I felt so exhausted when it was over.
Whew. You need a nap.
Yeah.
When it's done. Yeah. So Twos grabs a hold of this little Punky Brewster and pulls her into the car. And Miles immediately sees it and immediately leaves his game of horseshoes and takes off on his motorbike.
Well, he does put his helmet on first. So,
safety
he's safe,
first.
yeah.
I mean, come on. He ends up riding, and the guys, as soon as they see Miles back there, they throw her out of the car. The jig is up. They're done. They try all kinds of stuff to get away from Miles, and it doesn't work. And he ends up driving his bike up over the car, and then they're behind him. And there's another window breakage here. There's just windows breaking everywhere through the whole thing. But
oh my God.
Yeah. So this is, I believe, the first time Miles goes over a cliff in this film?
Yes, the first time. Yep, the first time.
First time.
Yep.
Okay, right.
By cliff, you mean like kind of a dirt hill he's sliding down?
Yes. Yes.
And he slides down and just keeps sliding down, maybe tumbles a little bit, and then slides some more.
You could really make a great looping video out of that.
Oh my God, yes. It's similar to the next time he falls off a cliff, but we'll talk to that when we get to it. But it's just how many times can this happen?
I want to see a 10-hour loop of this.
Of Miles
falling down a cliff.
It might happen. It could happen. We'll see how I feel. But later, Miles is back on the beat. His normal,
he is. Job. He is. But my main question is, why didn't he get this all on tape? Because attempted murder is a parole violation. This could put Chino away right there. Movie's over.
Great. Also, or the attempted kidnapping as well.
That too.
I mean, that would certainly violate his parole too.
Yep. There is no reason for this movie to go on.
Once again, you're adding logic to something that absolutely makes no sense.
And you might think here also that Miles, he just rolled down a cliff, man. He needs a break. Nope. Nope. He's out there getting video of people stealing cars, jumping on top of the car,
breaking the windows.
Yes, he breaks the windows. And then the car.
Oh God!
Hits, what is it? I don't even know what it is. Another car.
Yeah, I guess it hits another car, but in that way you can tell there's totally
your face right now.
Oh God damn it! Oh, this fucking scene.
It hits a car, or it flies up in the air and explodes.
But everyone's okay. Everyone's fucking okay. And Miles got footage and still duct tapes him to a telephone pole. Oh my God. Oh, I can't take it.
And I mean, I like to think that, this is just Miles. Every day Miles is out there doing this stuff.
He's got to make the content. He's got to keep the TV show going. God.
You would think he'd show up to the TV show with his face mangled.
Well, then everyone would know who the video cop is.
Right. Oh My face hurts.
The makeup department really is who saves that show. The woman who does the makeup every day has a lot of questions.
Mike, you're also assigning logic now.
Oh, God, Mike, stop it. You just can't assign logic to this movie.
Okay, so this is the part where I was going to get into what a jerk Miles is, because he's trying to get back at...
That's where he goes to the bar?
Chino now. He's trying... Yeah, the bar. He's trying to go to Chino and find out about him, and he walks in, and I guess this is just like an informant type guy. It's actually a guy named Mike Donahue, so...
I think it's his brother,
is the character. His brother, yeah. So he goes up to Jojo, who's playing pool, and immediately just starts messing with his pool game. We don't know who Jojo is at all. He could be a perfectly nice man.
I thought he was a friend.
Yeah,
he's not a friend?
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah. And no, Miles is like, and starts pushing his pool balls around.
God damn it. He just fucks with the guy's game. And then he starts shit with everybody. He kicks the entire bar's ass. Why does that happen?
He's like, because they don't immediately give him information that he wants. He starts a fight with 15 people in the bar.
I'm really beginning to see why Miles is not a cop anymore. Seriously. It wasn't just being a dick to Chino. It's being a dick to everybody.
Yeah, he starts slapping Jojo, and you're just like, what are you doing? And then, so all of these guys get the Miles Long treatment. Like, they all get beat up by him. And you're supposed to identify with Miles, but you're slapping innocent dudes. We don't know that Jojo's a parole violator, do we? Did he say he was a criminal?
I don't think... No, I still have no... I've seen this twice. Still have no idea what Jojo did to piss Miles off.
Jojo's part of Chino's gang.
He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know this.
We don't know that.
Him, yeah, we just see him being a dick to him.
And he tosses he breaks the fucking bar's front door. There's some windows broken. Of course. Like you said, the Miles Long treatment.
I believe this is the part where somebody gets kicked through the glass of the door, off a balcony, and down onto a car that also breaks the windshield.
Time to drink, baby.
Yep. Oh.
The sound effects in the fight scenes throughout the movie are so good. Like, it's just generic, like, board slapping and stuff like that, and meat punching or whatever. It's just repetitive and so fucking good. Oh, I love it so much.
Mike, can you keep going and talk about... okay, in my notes, I have Lady Cop written down. This is the first scene. We're almost 30 minutes into the movie before they finally say her name is Tracy, but it's Tracy's house. We're over at Tracy's house.
And she's baking a cake for her daughter, and it's real sweet, and the daughter's trying to see it, but she's hiding it from the daughter. And it's just this cute little scene, but it really is just all here to establish like what happens next, which is the bad thing.
Yes, Miles calls Tracy.
That's the bad thing.
That's the bad thing.
The call. Oh my God, I forgot about the call. He calls her to like complain about how she does stuff. And this is the line you quoted earlier, Chris. Don't tell me how to do my job.
I'm doing my job, damn it. I'm doing my job.
So she hangs up on him, and he calls back. And remember, this is 1994, right?
Yeah.
And so like, so you don't call her ID on this thing. It's this old phone, and he calls back, and she yells at him, and he hangs up on him, and he calls back, and he doesn't say anything, and she yells at it could have been anybody. We don't know. It's 94. They don't have the thing. She just yells, and they keep doing it back and forth for a bit, and she just keeps yelling every time she picks up the phone. It could have been Meemaw. We don't know. Meemaw could have been calling about her granddaughter's birthday and been in for a real big surprise.
Great point.
Well, I think it sets up the next call she gets from Chino.
Oh.
What the hell are you doing, damn you?
Do you know where your daughter's at?
Who is this?
I said, do you know where your daughter's at? I do.
And so she immediately runs out into the yard. My baby, my baby. Or that line might be later. But yeah.
That's okay.
But her daughter's missing. Chino, that little bastard, kidnapped her baby.
Yes. And Miles gets there shortly thereafter, meets up with Tracy, and Tracy unleashes Miles. Like, now there's no more debate about should there be law, should the cops do the job. Now it's like Miles' way.
Yeah, this time it's personal.
What do?
So they go back to the bar.
Okay, this is one of those scenes where maybe a little stealth and thinking would have been useful. Because he just got in a fight with the entire place. Maybe that's what gave him confidence. I don't know. But
yeah,
Miles walks in the door and just cold cocks the bouncer immediately. The plan immediately goes to garbage.
Jay, is he the bouncer or is his name Bouncer?
I don't. Is this Bouncer the bouncer in this scene too? Because Bouncer the bouncer is later. Is it also Bouncer the bouncer?
Yeah, I think so.
One?
Yeah, because like Tracy hits him with the gun and knocks him out, and that's why.
Oh,
yeah.
Right,
this is the scene with Bouncer.
He says he's Bouncer. He says, "My name is Bouncer." He's being very polite and kind.
My name is Bouncer. You need something?
Popcorn would be nice.
But that's later. That's a little bit
is
later.
It? Oh.
I thought that was this scene.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. They go back to the bar again for a fight.
Oh yeah, this is where this is where they're thrown into the back of the motherfucking creep van.
Yes, because the plan goes terrible.
Yes, it does.
JoJo immediately gets Tracy's gun. So walking in, I don't even know what they were planning to do. Just go do the same thing, I guess, to go find Chino.
Break some windows, that sort of thing.
But yes, they get thrown into the back of a creep van.
And it is fantastic.
So many broken windows. Those vans have a lot of windows.
They have a ton of windows, including one on the ceiling, and they all get broken. And someone goes through it.
Yes, someone goes up. Tracy kicks him in the balls, and they rocket up through the sunroof of the car. Because I suppose we didn't. Okay, they were thrown in the back of the creep van, tied up. What we didn't say is that they also immediately get untied. They untie themselves and begin fighting everybody in the car.
In the fucking van.
In the van, yeah. Miles is ramming Chino's car, and it breaks the back windshield of that. So that breaks the window there. In this whole chase, the van goes over a cliff.
Over the cliff. That's technically the second cliff Miles falls down.
Twos goes and checks on him, says, hey, Miles is dead, and then they take Tracy to like some kind of farm, I guess. There's chickens.
Miles! He's dead, man! If she's alive, then I'm gonna take her.
Twos might be one of the better actors in the movie, I would say.
I mean, most of his job is to just hold his stomach the whole time. But he's doing it, man. He's doing that. So
we're treated to Miles triumphantly waking up with this big synth score. He wakes up finally in the van and gets his gun. And for whatever reason, I mean, we know why later, but he decides to take one bullet and put it into his pocket.
But it's not a special bullet, was it? It's just his own bullet, right?
Just a bullet. He just takes it out of the gun.
Grabs a random
bullet.
bullet.
Didn't get a bullet that Chino had mailed to someone and said, I'm going to shoot a kid or anything. Like, it's just his own bullet.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
They did not build into the story a reason why he took that bullet and put it in his pocket.
Well, I believe what it is it's Chekhov's pocket bullet.
Oh.
So when you show the pocket bullet in Act 2, you've got to use it.
Kind of is
to resolve Act 3.
I mean, that is
it kind of
is. That is a trope in Russian stage craft.
The very common pocket bullet.
Mike, okay, this thing. Miles knows how to make an entrance here.
I can, because I have this all written out.
I love it. I love this part.
So we got Tracy tied up in this shack barn thing, a manger, if you will, and the child Susan, we learn her name is, or sorry, no, is her name Baby?
My baby, my baby,
my baby, my baby. My baby, my baby.
This is the scene where she says my baby about 500 times.
My baby, my baby. My baby, my baby.
They're threatening to do getting weird with the child and whatever. And then suddenly, so the door, let me describe the door real quick. The door is a normal door, but it's got like kind of a fairly small window, if I recall, in the door. I mean, a door doesn't have room for a big window, but this is not a glass door. This is not a door that is mostly glass. This is a door that
it has a Miles-sized window.
Like, exactly him. Like, it's like Tetris. Like Tetris. He dives through the fucking window, smashes through it. I think it's Twos goes, "Where'd you come from?" And Miles, after jumping through a window, somehow still has no emotion. It says, "Through the window." Kicks Twos in the nuts. And then that's that.
Damn it.
Where'd you come from?
Through the window.
It's absolutely cinematic. It's just perfect.
It's beautiful. Oh, god damn it.
It's lightning in a bottle. You can't just plan to do that. To have it come off that way. So Miles goes to save Susan and discovers that Chino is already... He sees out the back. Chino's driving away.
Yeah.
And now we're ramping up the violence here because Twos attacks again, but this time Tracy impales him with a broken board. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know if impales is the right word. Is it, Chris?
Stabs him. No, it stabs.
Just multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times, yeah. Then she gets an axe and threatens him with an axe. He's like, "You're a cop, you can't do that."
Yeah, Jay, go ahead.
Hold on. He doesn't just... she doesn't threaten him with an axe. I don't even know how I can describe this right.
She couldn't pick it
Miles is down there. Miles is down there playing good cop while he's holding his stomach leaning against the wall. And Tracy's back there like going full mama bear. And barely can pick up this axe and slams it into the ground.
You better tell her what she wants, man.
Talk, you piece of crap. Talk to me.
And then she picks it up and walks one step closer and slams it into the ground.
Jay, you're saying slams. And she's dropping it into the ground. She has to...
Well, that's just smart axe work. You let the head of the axe do all the work.
That's fair.
Yes. So Miles is like, "Dude, she's crazy. You better tell us where Chino's going."
She looks like she's a child trying to pick up her father's heavy tools. It's like she can't do it.
Yes. And she's trying so hard to be full of rage. And it's just like, not.
Mm-mm.
And I don't think, let's see, does Chino actually, or not Chino, does Twos actually end up telling them? I think he does.
No.
Right?
Not where they go.
They go back to the bar again.
No, they go back to the bar.
That's right, and that's where we meet the very kind-spoken bouncer.
My name is Bouncer. You need something?
Popcorn would be nice.
Bounce, yes, his name is Bouncer. His job also seems to be maybe as a bouncer. But he's very kind and polite and well-spoken.
It's so awesome. Like, and again, this is what, the third time? Miles walks in and just starts slapping JoJo around. He's just trying to play pinball. And Miles attacks him. And the bouncer, is like, "What are you guys doing?"
That's it? That's what this is about? I've been given instructions to bring you to your daughter.
They do take him at gunpoint.
They do.
Oh, God.
Where do they take him, Mike?
Just to someone's mom's house, where they have decided they've taken the child Susan and tied her hands behind her back and duct taped her mouth, and then just put her on a floaty raft in the middle of the pool.
Well, to be fair, Mike, she's not just on a floaty raft. She's on a milk crate.
Oh, yeah.
That's on a floaty raft.
So she's just floating out there, and it's...
Oh, God.
Chino's like, "Hey, is Miles on your real name?" And he just grabs his nuts and he's like, "Yeah, it's my real name."
Miles Long. Is that your real name or did you make it up?
Yeah, it's my real name.
What, your mother and father stupid or something? Who'd give a kid a name like that?
Guess they had a good sense of humor or something.
Chino has this, pretty genius plan, really.
Ingenious, if you will.
To kill Miles.
Oh, my God. It's James Bond villain at its finest.
It really is, but it's like a James Bond villain with no money. Yeah. It's great. He has a sharp stick. And
any great plan that starts with a sharp stick is good in my book.
Right. He's like, "Okay, Miles, here's what you're going to do. You're going to fight this big guy. And if for every 30 seconds the fight lasts, he's going to poke a hole in the raft." Yes. And he's like, "If Miles wins, I'm going to shred the raft." And so Miles astutely goes,
Maybe you don't realize when you poke a hole in the raft, the air's gonna leak out. And the little girl will sink.
He's a smart man.
Yes.
He's a smart man.
Yes,
That's kind of the point.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to see this happen. But instead, what happens?
All hell breaks loose.
Well, hey, Chino does start poking the raft, though. There are holes in it.
Yes.
Yeah. And
to make it sink, right.
He does pretty much follow through on that threat.
He does, but it was the elaborate part of the plan did not ever actually happen.
No. Though the Tracy and Miles were fighting the gang, and Chino's he's just over there in the background, just poking the raft every once in a while. Like he may as well just have his stopwatch on, just double checking, making sure he's following the rules.
No, my biggest problem with this whole fight scene, though, is that there are no windows anywhere.
That's unfortunate.
This might be the only fight where there's no glass broken.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Okay, the next part's maybe it's a real emotional gut punch.
What?
But what happens to Susan?
Oh, she almost drowns. She stops breathing for a minute, and then, they revive her. After some hard words from Mommy.
Breathe, Susan! Breathe! Breathe! Damn you! Susan, breathe!
Wait, so Tracy cusses her daughter?
She cussed her daughter, yeah.
She cusses her daughter.
And that's probably why she ended up in a coma.
And I would like to point out at this point in my notes, I just want to, so the viewer kind of knows that all of this is the first half of the film.
Oh, God. Yeah. We're like halfway through.
When they have to take Susan to the doctor, right? And they try to prop her up on life support, and a doctor who is 100% not an actor is delivering the information that she may or may not recover. And Tracy's still all messed up, and Miles's face is all messed up.
Well,
she just can't get over the fact that she cussed her daughter.
I cussed her, Miles. I cussed her, and I'll never be able to forget it. And I'll never be able to forgive myself. I'm sorry.
You did cuss her, but it got her fired up, and she started to breathe again.
This is maybe the only breather. Like, Chino just goes and recruits a bunch of skinheads that we referenced earlier, which I think one of them was his lover in prison.
Yeah, and they really don't like child rapers. But, unless they're, roomies? I think cellmates, right? Yeah. Unless they're cellmates in prison. Okay. Then prison rapers are okay. Or child rapers are okay, rather.
But they really hate Miles.
Yeah.
So after they decide to go back after Chino again, we are introduced to a new subplot?
Yeah, why not?
And a new character?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Who is this person?
Well, we don't know yet, but eventually we find out he is with Internal Affairs.
Yeah.
Yes. I love this guy.
He's the comic relief of sorts. It's pretty good.
Right. I feel like this is the part where they said, we really are putting comedy in this now. Like, there's no disguising it.
Yeah.
Like, you weren't sure with Miles or whatever. This guy's for sure the comedy because...
Well, when you introduce skinheads, you got to bring a little levity.
You have to. There's a lot of heavy concepts.
When you flatline a child for 2 minutes, you got to bring in a little bit of fun.
This is the moment. This is the part. Because they load up their machine gun or their shotguns, right? And then everything moves so fast in this whole thing. They load up the shotguns. They get pulled over by Internal Affairs man. His name is Davis. And then immediately, all the gangsters are around him again. Now we got the skinheads with him. And take all 3 of them hostage in the back of a pickup truck.
Yep.
These people are constantly fighting, getting captured, and escaping things.
Yeah. For the next 40 minutes.
Or falling from trees.
Falling.
Yes, okay, please talk about the tree. Like, you're talking about this next part, right?
Well, right away, when they're driving away, Miles tries to escape from the back of the pickup. And he is a stuntman.
Yes.
So you can clearly see this guy is doing all the stuff. And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I rewound and rewatched this like 5 times. From the back of a moving pickup, he jumps up and grabs onto a branch of a tree. And then he's supposed to hang on to it and then land on the car behind them. Which he sort of does, except not on his feet. He fucking slams on the back of it and then rolls hard off of the car. And it looked like it hurt. bad.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
So many of these falls looked painful.
Okay, this is one of those moments, too, where I was like, why didn't the gangsters just stop and say, yo, get back here or we're going to shoot Tracy right now? Yeah. Instead, they decide, well, it's time to chase Miles up a mountain. Yeah! And this is also the part where I feel like the violence gets ratcheted up, because now it's no more Mr. Nice Miles. He is straight up murdering people.
Yeah. Yep.
He's snapping necks, slashing throats from these skinheads that are crawling around. And meanwhile, this whole cat and mouse game is happening in the mountains, and I don't know who the cat or who the mouse is. But
this is my favorite
meanwhile,
scene.
in the back of the pickup truck, Chris.
Oh, God.
Is this your favorite scene?
Oh, it's my favorite scene.
You have to talk.
Yeah.
Tell
So
us about it.
So kind of the second skinhead in command, Goon.
Goon. That's nice.
And a buddy are holding Tracy and the internal affairs guy in the back of this pickup truck. Mm-hmm. And so Tracy starts fucking putting on the moves. And by moves, I mean, she's like gyrating her hips, like the camera gets... Go ahead, Mike.
I'm saying you might say she's shaking her bush at Goon.
Shake the bush.
She's... We'll see her shake some more literal bushes later, but right now she is shaking her own literal bush.
Shake the bush.
At Goon. And the
At
camera's
Goon.
just getting up in
And
there.
the camera's right up in there. And oh my God. Yeah. And the internal affairs guy is like, Tracy, what are you doing? And I don't remember what she says, but she like moves the strap down on her shirt so you can see her bra strap. And Goon's into it.
Oh.
Mm-hmm,
And until the fucking internal affairs guy says his piece, and then Goon's like snaps him out of his, I guess, crotch trance.
Mm-hmm.
And
he talks about his name being Goon.
Oh yeah, well yeah,
Tracy says, "Oh, like the Goonie bird."
My favorite line of the movie.
Yeah, and that's a real bird. Did we all look that one up real quick?
Did you?
I'm looking at it right now. Oh,
I hope we got some bird facts. But Goon is like, he has this irrational hatred of birds. Don't ever associate me with a bird. They're weak.
Like the Goonie bird?
Never associate me with a bird. Birds are weak. I don't like birds.
Jeez, Goon, I'm sorry. There's some strong birds. Take the crow, for instance.
Shut up, damn you! Shut up! Don't you ever associate me with a bird. Can't you understand that?
Okay. Chill out.
Don't tell me to chill. Just keep your mouth shut.
God damn it, Goon.
Yes, I mean, goes off about being associated with a bird. And so Tracy tries to switch tactics there and decides she has to pee. And
so she's got to shake another bush.
Led into my intro. Right. He's like, all right, go down into the bush and shake it. And if you stop shaking the bush, I'm going to fill you with buckshot, is pretty much what he says. And so she runs down there and says the whole thing I said in the beginning.
I'm shaking the bushes, Goon. Can you see me? Shake, shake, shake. Shaking those bushes. Like you told me, shaking the bushes. Yes, sir. Shaking the bushes. See it shaking? It's shaking now, Goon. Watch it, Goon. It's shaking. Shake, shake, shake. Shaking, Goon. Watch the bush shaking. Yes, sirree.
And takes her pants off. Shaking the bushes, Goon.
Shake the bush.
And wraps her pant leg around a tree so that she can get like a little bit more distance from the tree before she runs.
Yeah.
And he shoots. Because he does. She takes off and the tree stops. And then he starts shooting. And then it's Miles that comes back, right? And they fight together again against
I think
Goon.
So. Yeah, something like that.
And then Davis is sitting there, and she sees her like with no pants on, and so she's taking Goon's pants, or one of those pants.
The internal affairs guy gets shot.
Right. Because he's going to help, and he gets shot right in the chest, and he's not dead because I guess it's buckshot, but I still feel like you could die from that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he is laying there bleeding from his chest, and sees her stripping the pants off this guy. And
You're not gonna take my pants, are you?
I wouldn't do that to you.
and some of this stuff starts to pick up pace now. Like, all the plot has been laid out by now. So they hide outside this big factory and they dump Davis out of the car. And Miles is like, you're going to be okay. Like, this is the most we can do.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't take him to a hospital or something.
Yeah, we're just going to dump you here outside this factory.
Right. And so Davis, being the professional that he is, says, sure, I'll just finish my report.
He's got to do what he's got to do.
I didn't take a whole lot of notes in terms of like individual things that happen here because it's just this.
Like, this is a fucking bloodbath.
Right. And we get Lady Terminator.
And Lady Terminator.
Out of nowhere.
Well, no, she's with the skinheads. She's been with the skinheads the whole time. Yeah.
But she is credited as Lady Terminator.
What? Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a storm of just running and fighting and shooting. There's almost no dialogue.
Broken windows. People falling
Everywhere.
off buildings, down off of fucking catwalks. Like, how many people fall off catwalks in this scene? Like 50. I swear it's like 50.
I love how some of the goons, not goon, some of the goons are rappelling upside down from the rafters.
Oh, God, he's fucking air
For
assaulting
some
these
reason.
fucking people and just makes him an easy target.
Right. There's a car that is chasing them at one point and it hits some pallets, some pallets, and explodes. It's probably, 20 minutes or so?
Something. Yeah, it's long.
Of fighting.
A lot of stuff. Tracy gets shot up. I mean,
Chino shoots her.
She's donezo. Chino fucking, right in the middle of this big, long fight, just...
Miles ends up on the roof, and Twos and Chino are down on the ground. And so now Miles sees Tracy, and Twos gets off a shot and shoots Miles a couple times. This is the worst he's been injured. He gets shot in the leg and
it's
the
brutal.
stomach.
They actually use some blast caps and stuff to actually do some effects on this scene.
Anybody want to talk about this epic maneuver that he pulls off from the roof? Because Miles ain't done. That's not enough. You can't stop Miles long.
He's just I just want to do the stunt that I've always wanted to do and look cool. The actor said that. And he just as he's falling down because he got shot, he loads his gun with and jumps off of the building with his arms extended with two pistols, and then slams onto the roof of a car because that's the softest space.
And breaks the windows.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Breaks the window.
Every window.
Yeah, of course, he breaks the windows.
Right. And he shoots Twos with that maneuver, right? But not Chino.
But not Chino.
So Chino walks right up to him, laying on top of this car, and it's a team effort here.
Yeah.
Because he's going to shoot Miles, but then Tracy shoots Chino.
Yeah, the Infernal Affairs guy comes in and distracts someone somewhere.
And then Miles says, "You're under arrest for parole violation."
You're under arrest for parole violation.
Shoots his neck, shoots him right in the neck, point blank, and blows that out. And he crawls over to Tracy and says, "You look beautiful."
You look beautiful, Tracy.
Thank you. You look handsome yourself.
You think everything's okay, but then Twos comes back.
The right-hand man comes back, not the main villain, just the other guy.
Right. And, oh, God, I love this line so much. Do you guys remember what it is with Davis? Because Davis has crawled on his belly across this warehouse to help, and he goes,
"Excuse me, are you Twos, goon, or bouncer?" I wouldn't want to misspell anybody's name.
Yes.
I think that might be my favorite line of the movie, right at the end.
It's a great one.
Well, the ending here also, I think, really finally, I just realized this, it finally explains what actually got Miles kicked off the police force. Is because when he says to Chino, "You're under arrest for parole violation," but he murders him. That's not arrest. That's murder.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
he confuses arresting with murder.
He arrested his life. Like that stopped. That was arrested.
That was, yes. We're in the last scene of the movie is a hospital.
This is like an Andy Sedaris ending of a movie. It's fucking great.
So they're in the hospital, and Tracy is sharing a room with Davis, the internal affairs guy, who's still writing in his little
Working
book.
his report out. He's got to do it. He's the nerd cop. He's got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was such a good bit, that whole Davis thing.
Yeah.
Now Susan comes wheeling in her wheelchair. The daughter's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody's hugging. They're smiling, and they're a happy new family. Davis is just smiling to himself.
Oh,
he just shuts the book.
He is so excited about how wholesome it is. He is just the most emotion any character has shown in the entire film. He is smiling ear to ear, just so touched by how warm this family unit of sorts is, and it's really touching.
Yep. He decides to take his little report book and throw it in the trash.
Credits. It just cuts the cuts. He drops it in, credits, and then some fucking techno disco EDM song starts playing.
Oh my god. Have you guys had that song, like the Miles fight song, stuck in your head?
You mean the repeat
as much
of
as I have?
The 2 bars that repeat through most of the film?
Rating time.
We just want to know the rating scale, Jay.
Yeah, just tell us the rating scale.
I was considering miles long. Like, is your score
nice
75 miles long? You know.
See, I never got to like say how long is this movie. Miles long.
There you go. Hey, Chris, how long is this movie?
Miles long.
Ha!
Or we could do cussed out kids.
Cussed out kids or cussed kids. she never
kids.
said it right.
That's
what
true.
about
Okay.
what about
We
1
can-
out of 100 my babies?
You definitely could do that. So go ahead. Whichever you want to do, Mike.
Jay, this movie is absolutely bonkers. It doesn't stop. It is it's fast. If at any point you're like, oh, there's not action happening now, you are just baffled by the lack of acting skills by anyone on the screen. And it is very enjoyable. And I had a really good time with this movie. It came out in 1994. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 94 my babies.
Wow.
Wow.
I think it's fun.
Awesome.
I think anyone would like this movie if you like this kind of stuff.
For sure. Okay, Chris, over to you.
I partially agree with that. I do think this movie is a lot more fun to talk about than it was to watch. I was just, I was just fucking exhausted by the end of it. It is relentless, and there's nothing to really set each fight apart. So it's just like more of the same for an hour and a half. I mean, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great movie. Like, I really enjoyed watching it, but fuck, I was so tired. I'm like, I'm ready for bed after this. So
you messaged us that. And
oh yeah,
I laughed a lot.
As soon as I finished that, I'm like, I'm time for bed. So I'm not going to go nearly as high as Mike, but it was still a fun movie, and I think it's worth everyone's time. It's definitely the room of action movies. 78, my babies.
Very nice.
What about you, Jay?
Okay, I think this movie deserves to be much more well-known than it is. I said it was the room of action movies. I think it's because you have the stilted dialogue and rough performances, but they're in the best way, the best and most fun way. And a lot of movies have that, but you've also got, in this one, there are so many quotable bits. And though you don't have like Miles is not like Tommy, like they're not the same, but I do feel that there was a sincere attempt here to make something good. And they're not winking at you when they did this, you know? I think this is like a pre-Crank, the movie.
Okay.
Well,
because like you said, Chris, it is just relentless. It does not let up. So I'm going to give it pretty high score here. I'm going to give it 90. My babies. I'm just going to use that because I don't want to design a complex graphic. So
it's fair.
Well, guys, I am glad you had so much fun with this movie. I had a blast with it, but I think we all made Parole. So I have to turn it over to Mike to find out what is next on B-Movie Mania.
On the next episode of B-Movie Mania.
Much like Tracy cussed her child, we're about to get cursed. The seventh curse, that is.
Ooh.
This is a 1986 film from back on the mainland of Asia. I know we were just there in Asia with Dead Sushi, but now we've got the seventh curse, which is about a young heroic cop in the jungle of Thailand attempts to rescue a beautiful girl from being sacrificed to the worm tribe she belongs to. As a result, the cop is damned with 7 blood curses, with which burst through his legs periodically. When the 7th bursts, he will die. This stars a very young Chow Yun-fat.
Yeah, oh my god.
And it is absolutely bonkers. There's so many cool special effects, practical and otherwise, from 1986.
Nice.
You can watch it. This is the first time we've done this. You can watch it on an app called Asian Crush, and it's on just about all the stuff that has apps, but it's there. Asian Crush is what it's called, and you can find it. And I do say you need to watch the dubbed version because it adds a whole extra level of funness to it. So yeah, the 7th curse, Asian Crush, check it out. I can't wait to watch it with you guys, and we'll have a special guest for this too. But I'm not at liberty to say who it is yet.
Ooh.
Is it Chow Yun-Fat?
No, it's the Prince of Magic. I'll be honest. The Prince of Magic. He's been bugging us to be on, so the Prince of Magic is gonna maybe show up and help us out. No, I'm kidding. Nice. Chris Arneson's gonna join us.
Awesome.
I do love a great Hong Kong adventure film.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. I can't wait to do it with you guys.
Looking forward to this.
But we're gonna have to wait for the next episode of B-Movie Mania.
Of B-Movie. Oh, we've already done that part.
But you don't have to wait to go to your favorite podcasting service. And if you like our episodes and you want to help us out, give us a good rating. Give us 5 stars or however many stars that you can. And we would really appreciate that. Now I'm going to pass it over to one of these two guys to talk about something that we're selling.
Well, I have a thing to plug here that I just want to thank everyone who's listening who was at Bingo the other day, because we did watch Parole Violators along with Get Even, also known as Champagne and Bullets, and we had a lot of fun.
And Get Heaven. Or
Get Heaven, you can call it. But yeah, that was fun, so thanks for jumping in and listening to this app too, and stuff like that. So we're, that's a thing. If you're in Chicago and you like Bingo every couple weeks, as long as this COVID shit stays not a problem, we're doing B-Movie Bingo, so check that out. But also... Go to Instagram. Is that what you wanted, Jay? Did I bring it all in?
Any sort of Instagram will do.
Anyone. Just check it out.
Well, I was going to say that we also, we don't sell Instagram, but we do sell sweatpants.
Nope.
We don't
sell sweatpants anymore. If you go to store.bmoviemania.com, it'll bring you right to our store. We have a bunch of shirts and, masks, speaking of COVID again, and track pads and cups, mugs, and stuff.
Did you say crack pads?
Yeah, crack pads.
Special thank you to everybody who's been buying all that stuff. We really appreciate it. It helps us out and helps us keep this podcast going.
That's right, baby.
And we like to keep it going.
Mm-hmm. Much like the movie Parole Violators, just kept going.
Going.
Chris, how long is this episode?
Miles long, Jay.
Listen up, maniacs. Do you have a question or a comment? Would you like to send some bourbon to Uncle Lloydie? You can contact the gang on Facebook at B-Movie Mania. You can also drop them a line at bmoviemania.com. Reach out. Touch them. They're touching themselves. And they might just reach back. I'm Lloyd Kaufman saying, see you next time on B-Movie Mania. Woohoo!
Shake the bush.